So to the first of our International World Championship finals, and I have to say, Dan, a rather disappointing turnout for the women's fours. Just 4 crews here. So a new name on the roll of honour, and the Australian 4, Kate Hornsey, Pauline Frasca, Emily Martin and Robin Selby-Smith, expected to do pretty well here, and here is this quartet.
They're very good, they row well, and very good to come really from nowhere in Australia. They've really replaced the Australian squad, women's squad from last year. They've come in fresh and new and racing very well through the week. They've been looking very good. Belarus also half the Belarus 8 as well, so it's an interesting battle here, a preliminary battle between these two crews, Australia and Belarus.
Having said that, Dan, we shouldn't count out the German 4, because there's some promising youngsters. They're all in their early 20s, put together by Werner Novak, and a couple of bronze medalists and a gold medalist from under 23 racing, and at the moment they've got the edge.
Yeah, I mean, this is a very good, it's good quality rowing here. We can see some very good quality rowing. This is a transition period for athletes coming out of juniors, out of under 23s, and having their first taste of senior rowing. And it's a very good staging post. Same thing with the men's coxed pair, same thing with the men's coxed 4. This helps them to move on and make that step up to senior level and then on into the senior squads.
Not much to choose between Germany, Australia and Belarus. Korea already finding the pace rather too hot for them as they go through the first 500 metres. Australia now coming towards the last quarter. 1:44.63 for the second 500, 1:45.03 for the third quarter, and Australia now well clear, and they're stretched out in Indian file. Germany in silver and Belarus in bronze, and it's difficult to see, Dan, with not too far to go, that order being changed.
No, Australia well on top and rowing extremely well. They're just down at 32 strokes a minute. They're not having to extend themselves too much because they know they've got the 8 later on in the programme. But here they are stretching out, really moving very well indeed. And the youngsters there from Germany, finding the going quite tough, but acquitting themselves pretty well. And the Belarus crew will be joining their other 4 members for the 8th race again later on in the programme. But that's a really good show there from Australia.
And as far as Germany is concerned, all 4 women from the eastern part, Emmerich in the bow there from Dresden, Dressel from Dortmund, Kirsten Naumann from Dresden, and Hülsel the stroke from Leipzig. These are the new generation for Germany, and on recent evidence they need to find this next generation pretty urgently.
Well, Germany has been relying a lot on their older athletes, and it's very hard to see where they're going to get their new people from, because they've not really been performing at all. Witness that for the women's quad they had to bring in Katrin Boron to strengthen their quad. She's 37 years old, has a baby, had more or less thought she was retired, but she's back there in the group. Same thing with Romania. Romania's squad, they're having to rebuild as well. They've got for the Olympics they brought back Lipa, who's 40 years old. They brought back their stroke. I mean, that was they were really calling on the old guard.
So Australia duly take the gold medal in this year's women's fours. Germany will take the silver. Belarus will come through to take the bronze medal. So a pretty easy victory for the Australians, and as you said, Dan, they'll be well pleased with that, having to race the 8 in 24 hours from now. And there, a round of applause for Korea finishing in 4th place. Confirmation of the times. What do they say, Dan? A gold's a gold. You can only beat the people who turn up.